Hello everybody, welcome to my channel again. Thank you very much for today or for this video. I would like to give some of my thoughts and comments on the recent controversial suggestion by the Minister of Religion to have this guideline for Muslims in attending non-Muslims celebrations or houses of worship. Now, this issue has come about when the Minister of Religion or the Minister of Religious Affairs was answering a question in Parliament, and he said that his department, or JAKIM in fact, is coming up with a very detailed guideline in order to preserve harmony and make sure that misunderstanding does not occur. And so the proposed guideline was shown or was given a preview to the media as well as to the Parliament, and it is still said that it is still under construction or under discussion, and this has become a backlash to the minister himself as well as to the JAKIM, both from the Muslims and non-Muslims quarters. Only the opposition party seems to be very pleased with it, of course, because they are the one who raised unnecessarily a lot of these issues. Now, I would like to first of all give my understanding of why this has occurred, and then I would like to explain two aspects of how this situation should probably have been handled better by the JAKIM. Now, first of all, let us look at beyond being angry or being ridiculing the minister in saying so many things, or being in some quarters being disrespectful in saying that the minister should be taken out or should be replaced and things like that. I don't think that is a very good way of us expressing our thoughts and opinions on a subject. I think we should be very professional, and we should be very fair to the minister. He has done a certain job. We may not agree with it, but that doesn't mean that we need to be nasty about it. I don't think we want to have a culture of saying things like, oh, stupid minister, and should be replaced and things like that. I think this is not a good way to for us all to grow. We need to grow together. And so first and foremost, we must understand why this so-called guideline is being proposed. Well, I assume this guideline is being proposed in regard to some quarters, mostly political opportunists, trying to create division between the Muslims and non-Muslims by expanding or making the issue of celebration of Christmas, for instance, by Nga Kormeng at the KPKT, as well as some materials of making sure that a lot of these Christmas trees and even some alcohol or whatever being placed in malls. Many of these things actually have been done before in our country, and there was no problem. Except that in this time, there is a group of people who wants to rule the government by creating divisions and making what we call a mountain out of a molehill. Now, some people may say that, oh, you are making something that is very important to sound to be not that important. Well, not actually. Because if you are a good Muslim with a fair understanding of your religion, going to attend a celebration of Christmas or Tahun Baru Cina, or attending to the funeral of a non-Muslim, all these are simply governed by certain rules that have already been set by the Prophet Muhammad, and most of us have already understood. there is the concept of niyat or intention, which I will go into a bit more detail later on. So we must first of all not be too angry at JAKIM, because we need to focus on why this is happening. And so this is happening because there is a group of opportunistic politicians trying to create this division between us, so that they could destabilize the government and also make most non-Malays despise the present government in whatever response that it will come about. If the government responded by having some sort of a very conservative guideline, then the non-Muslim will be angry. If the government says something that sounds very liberal and progressive, then they will be seen to be something like compromising Islam or not having the best interests of Islam at heart. This is how I read what is the situation, and all of us Malaysians need to be very clear, not at the anger to be at the JAKIM alone, but also to look at what is happening in terms of the political culture that we are having. It's very unfortunate that after 70 years we still do not know each other. We are still not comfortable relating to one another. We are still not comfortable going to each other's houses of worship for celebration, for social interaction, so that we could make the dream of what is called muhibbah, or coming together as a single nation, society that is having mutual respect with one another. So that there is this group of people doing that, and with the social media very active and very efficient, displaying all these issues about the slander that is being carried on, the non-Muslim being Christian agenda or communist agenda, or just not respecting the halal haram. All these are all I have found to be a political tactic or a strategic move. It's not about ignorance among our people. It is, to me, something that is purposefully done. And we can see the case of some politician saying something about a person, a minister's family related to somebody else that is actually not true, and these are being propagated on and on. And so that is the situation of why this has come up. Now, with regard to the response of JAKIM, of having this a lot of this detailed manner, of which I have read, and I also found that to be not very practical, and also not very kind, and as well as not something that I would even care to follow. It's not being trying to be rebellious, but it's just simply unimaginable. A lot of the things that has been said in the guideline can be interpreted in many different ways, and also something that may be insulting to other religion, meaning we do not respect other religion for their own way of singing or making prayers and things of that nature. That is why I was going to propose, or had written, that we need JAKIM to not only have all the ustaz specializing in Islam in one institution. JAKIM should have an advisory committee consisting of non-Muslims, consisting of Muslims from different disciplines like art, anthropology, and other disciplines, rather than just these people who are clerics. I mean, with respect to the education of all the clerics, I have seen the curriculum, and the curriculum does not talk about art, does not talk about culture, does not talk about civilizational aspect, does not talk about the ideas of philosophy in the Western context or Eastern context, and this therefore creates a very narrow-minded person. Now, if this narrow-minded ustaz were to teach a group of Muslims in a kampong isolated from the world, then that's fine. But we are not isolated from the world. We have the social media, we have the internet, we have the AI, we have so many things that brings us closer and closer together. And so without the benefit of all these experiences as well as knowledge and understanding, this is why the guideline is very, very restrictive and also very, very childish in many respects. Now, I do not mean to be very disrespectful, but as I said, the minister and JAKIM would have benefited if they had a group of sound, noble, and also people who have a good heart, which are not Muslims, who are not Muslims, to actually help with that. Now, of course, the opportunistic politician from the other side might take that as an opportunity to weaponize the situation by saying, you see, the Madani government is trying to water down Islam or Islamic issues, and they have allowed non-Muslims to be part of our religion, and therefore this is going to destroy us all. Now, I have read a lot of the history of the Prophet Muhammad. I have said also in many times that the Prophet had survived with the help of the non-Muslim, like Abu Talib, his own uncle, like the King Negus, as well as the agreement that he had made with the Aus and Khazraj group in Medina, who are non-Muslims, most of them. They are Jews, they are Christians, and this is part and parcel of Islam. But there is this group of opportunists, politician, who says that they are the genuine heroes of Islam. They are trying to say that no, Islam must be kept in a box, Islam must be isolated, Islam must be pure in that sense, therefore then only we can have a better society. I don't think that is the way, but this is how the narrative is being played out to the Muslims at large, whom unfortunately are not those who are doing a lot of reading on their own, but only listening to these narrow-minded clerics. So my suggestion is to have this multidisciplinary committee. It could be part of JAKIM, or it could be part of outside of JAKIM, but I was hoping that it could be part and parcel of JAKIM. Now, I've always said in my writing that Islam is a Malaysian issue. It is not simply just a Muslim issue. And we must have an institution that gives the idea of Islam that is progressive, Islam that is inclusive, Islam that can expand its boundaries easily, and an Islam that can meet challenges of culture and also technology, as well as attitudes of the world, rather than safely being in a small box. I think the state religious affairs can do that, but not the federal, because the federal talks about bigger things and also wider context. Now, the second thing I would like to say is also about how personally most Muslims who have a general understanding of Islam, we have the idea of the niyat, or the intention. Now, what happens when we go overseas and visit churches in our tourism manner, in which we wanting to see how other people live, how other people worship, visiting this and that, so that we can have a wider opinion. And if we were to buy certain artifacts, like the artifact would look like a church and things like that, would that be also a problem? I don't see that as an issue, because being a professor of architecture, I have been to temples to do measured drawing and to reconstruct the building. I've been to churches. I have done drawings of that with the students, and I have also books mosques, temples, and churches by Dewan Bahasa and Pustaka, both in English as well as in Malay. So none of these activities have veered me away from Islam, simply because we have the idea of niyat. I have been to churches for a Christmas celebration, and we will have the priest sometime making prayers, and then when they come to words like Jesus the Lord, then I would just tune it out, and I wouldn't be disrespectful, and I would just be quiet. But in my mind, then that phrase would be tuned out. And so that is how most Muslims simply preserve their aqidah, or what we say, their idea about what Islam stands for and what is their role. So I don't see that as a problem. But as I said, during this time, some social influencers working with opportunistic political parties trying to destabilize the government, but there are also popularizers who wants to simply just get their viewers up, and therefore would create some sort of issue very quickly that would flare up and increase their viewing numbers and therefore their income. And so we are in a very unique situation at the moment. And Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim is really being challenged by a situation of the social media, and also what we call trial by media, where there are now the culture of leaking information to the press before actually giving it to the authority for them to investigate. But the trial has already begun with the media, and I think this is not very healthy, and we will push ourselves into further mistrust and also further division if we do this. So in conclusion, I would like to say that I understand the intention of the Minister of Religion and also of JAKIM, and respectfully, I also appreciate their effort in trying to mitigate this opportunistic element of politicians, influencers, as well as irresponsible individuals. And we should acknowledge that they are trying their best. But I think that the Minister and JAKIM could respond much better if they have a team of good people who are non-Muslims to be part of JAKIM. We need all for us to survive in this world as well as in the next. With that, thank you very much. Hi everybody. If you would like to own my book and have my signature as well as a personal note from me, please follow the instruction. Thank you.